Please check the description for timestamps that'll help you escalate through different topics in the video. A few weeks ago, I got a request on one of my videos asking me to start making self-improvement videos. My first thought when I read that comment was, I'm not qualified for that, because there's absolutely nothing I do in my life perfectly that even can fall under the bracket of self-improvement. Do I go to the gym regularly? No. I have struggled with consistency at the gym for over a year now. Do I post consistently? No. It takes me weeks to edit sometimes, and that's definitely not what the algorithm demands. Fuck, I can't even hold a consistent daily routine in my life because I have a freelance career and मेरे सर पे कोई boss नहीं है. So I'm kind of on my own, and on some days it's really difficult to find the motivation to even sit down and work. So as you can tell, I'm probably not the best person to ask. But फिर मैंने अपना बहुत दिमाग लगाया and I was like, there has to be something that I'm consistent at. And there is this one thing, and that is, drum roll, trying. I do not stop trying. I still try to go to the gym consistently, even if that means lowering the threshold from 6 days a week to 4 days a week so that it becomes more achievable. And I still try and figure out the different order of doing things in my daily routine so that I work more efficiently, even if that means going to a therapist and taking professional consultation. I do not stop trying, and I won't stop until I am consistent with what I want to achieve. And I'm not talking I try for weeks, months, I'm talking years. I've been trying at some of these things for years and I haven't given up. And I am 100% sure there are things in your life that you've been trying for so long to achieve, but you haven't given up. But you don't give yourself enough credit for just, trying. Like, I know this isn't school anymore and not everyone gets a participation certificate, but I'd like to argue why. Why can't you thank yourself for that? Trying is a trait that I really admire myself for because I feel like it's a testament of my willpower. But I don't think I'd be even half as strong if it weren't for something so important in my life, which is meditation. But I'll talk about that a little later in the video. By now, if you haven't realized, I'm quite a spiritual person, and there have been times in my life when I felt literally guided by the universe. I'm going to share with you one such instance in this video today. So I was actually traveling from Punjab to Delhi via a train, and there was a Sardarji sitting next to me. He asked for extra water from the attendant on the train, and I said, it's okay, you can have mine. And then I offered my bottle of water because I don't really drink that much water. I know that's really bad, but I'd rather be dehydrated than have UTI. So I offered him the water and then we started talking. And oh my god, he shared with me so much about his faith and culture, but there was these particular lines that really stuck with me, and those were, he said, you will be successful, it's just a matter of when you will be successful. Which is kind of why I think I've never stopped trying. And he said that you should have so much faith that even if you were drowning in water and the water is like up until here and you're just about to take your last breath before you go underwater, supposedly your last breath, God will give you his hand and save you. You should have faith till the last moment, is what he was trying to say. And now you may ask, faith in what, Diksha? Faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in an idol? Well, I think faith is a very subjective thing. While some people may feel relieved relying on an external God, others who are probably atheists might see this as motivation to turn inward and believe in themselves and their own actions. As for me, I tend to look at it as faith in my own destiny, faith that the universe has better plans for me, and faith that I was put on this earth to fulfill a purpose, and I will fulfill it in this lifetime. So whatever comes naturally to you, and I use the words faith or belief, could be God, universe, yourself, I just want you to hold on to that and hear me out for a minute. Do you feel that you have surrendered yourself completely to that faith? Do you believe in yourself enough? Or are you still finding yourself worrying about every single thing in your life? Do you worry about proving to your manager how much work you're doing so that he doesn't give the promotion to someone else? Or maybe you worry about that new venture that you've just started and whether or not you'll be successful in it, या फिर क्या मैं ये 75 hard challenge खत्म कर भी पाऊंगी या नहीं? I don't know what your worries are, but chances are you still worry about things. And you haven't exactly surrendered yourself to this faith. I've been part of a Buddhist community for many years now, and one of the things that I often hear people say in my community is that faith and fear cannot coexist. And जैसे कि आप सोच रहे हो, I also go like, yeah, okay, tell that to my anxiety that pounds in my heart every single time that I think of the future, or tell that to the antidepressants that I take. You know, it seems so impossible. Now, if you're anything like me, you're constantly second guessing yourself, looking up people in your industry that you want to conquer and seeing how long it took for them to reach where they are, how long it can take for you to reach the same place. Calculating and measuring your chances of failure or success, especially with social media at our fingertips and everyone sharing their highlight reel, it becomes quite exhausting to keep yourself happy and just trust that everything will work out for you. And so in this day and age, it becomes quite difficult for our brain to trust that things are indeed going to work out for us. But why is this? Why is our brain such a bitch? Well, for one, there's a lot of triggers in our environment because of social media, comparison, and a lot of competition. And the other is what psychologists refer to as the negative bias. This is a simple concept that states that your brain is going to focus on that one negative thing that isn't working out for you on top of a pile of good things that you should actually be grateful for. Let's take an example and apply this to your specific pronouns. Suppose that you go on a date via Bumble. आप अपने date पे जाते हो and you notice that their shoes do not match their outfit. They didn't exactly pull out the chair for you when you were about to sit. They also didn't offer you food from their plate before they started to eat. However, you overlooked how easy it was for you to open up with them, how you liked the same artist, and how he managed to drop you home even though it was kind of a detour for him. But no, you didn't look at all the good things. Your brain is only looking at the negative things because it's finding ways that this guy is possibly not compatible with you so that it can protect you from future hurt or distress, because probably in a past relationship you overlooked some things and you don't want to make the same mistake again. So basically your brain is just trying to protect you. But that sucks, because then you're never going to invite new experiences, new people, or new opportunities in your life, because your brain is always going to look at all the negative things even if before anything happens. So why is exactly our brain such a prick? I'm sure you've seen this meme going around and it's like, पता नहीं ये पढ़ाई करने का आइडिया किसका था, आराम से गुफाओं में रहते, जिंगालाला हु करते and मर जाते. And as funny as that is, we were actually highly unsafe in the caves and our brains had to be aware of any wildlife coming in attacking us. And then even in the earliest forms of civilization, kingdoms often used to go to war against each other, and there were other threats that our brain had to be aware of. So it's safe to say that all of the humans that eventually evolved into you and me, we made it here because our brain was really good at recognizing threats and imagining worst case scenarios even before it happened. Otherwise, we literally wouldn't have survived history. And so we're living with this super attentive brain and genetics, except most of us, not all, but most of us don't exactly have any dangerous threats anymore in our environment, so we're left worrying about stupid things like my crush probably hates me, oh my god, I wonder what they're thinking about me. I would have wasted so much time if I decide to change my career right now. I'm going to miss out on so much money if my business does not take off. You see how stupid our worries sound compared to the threats that our brains are actually trained for? It's like a brown dad who had a lot of responsibilities at his job. However, now he's retired and he keeps looking for faults in his home and trying to fix things that aren't even broken, like get me a government job. No dad, a government job is not going to fix me. मैं कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच जाती हूँ? But you get the idea. And coming back to the anecdote that the very kind man said to me earlier, that you should have faith even if you're drowning in water. Yeah, well, what if we never even step into the water? Because our brain recognized it as a threat and we just walked the other way. We just walked opposite of what our destiny was supposed to hold for us. We walked the other way because the other paths just seemed safer. It just looks like कि हम वो लेंगे तो हम successful हो जाएंगे, and we never even plunge into the water and we don't try to fulfill our life's destiny because we don't even know our life's destiny, because we've not even calmed our mind. And that is why, my friends, you need meditation. Take it from someone who suffered from anxiety, and that anxiety came inside of me because I knew for a fact that I wasn't walking a path that I really wanted to walk on. I knew that inside me I just didn't have the power to take the action because my brain kept telling me that it's a threat to do whatever that I wanted to do, which is why it's so important to calm your mind, to give your mind that stillness so that you can shut out all the noise and actually realize what's really meant for you. I personally meditate by being still and focusing on my breath. This is the way that I like to do it. When I'm focusing on my breath and a thought comes, suppose that I have to give a reminder to someone, I come back and I start focusing on my breath again. I'm focusing on my breath and then a reminder comes, oh, I need to send an email, and then I return to my breath. The point is to keep returning to my breath. What that does is that it trains my brain to stop focusing on things that are not so important. It's training my brain to stop reacting all the time and actually be still. What you don't want to do, however, is try to fight the thoughts. No, all you're going to do is redirect your focus to your breath, and soon enough you'll realize that you don't even remember the thoughts that you are having, and again you'll keep coming back to your breath. You're essentially training your brain to stop panicking and reacting, and instead you can just acknowledge things for a change. You know, you don't actually have to do it then and there. Like, I don't actually have to reply to that email then and there. Just to clarify, we don't meditate just so that we can improve our focus and perhaps get more productive in life and sit on a laptop for maybe 10 hours and be able to work and focus on one task. No, that's like scratching the surface of meditation. It's quite difficult to describe in words, so the best I can actually describe it is through this visual. So you actually have the answer to everything inside of you. Suppose that there's a circle that is the answer, and that answer is your internal voice. That internal voice may be small right now, and you have a bunch of other voices which are like external voices, and that's basically the noise and the worries and the stress and the competition that you're constantly thinking about. Now when you start meditating, that little internal voice, the answer, starts getting bigger, and the other voices, the other stress giving voices, start becoming much smaller. And that internal voice, by the way, is the voice that believes in you. That's the voice that tells you to get up in the morning and do the task that you've been procrastinating on. That is the voice that tells you, hey, you owe it to yourself to give yourself a chance, to give your business a chance, to give your dreams a chance, to actually go to the gym, to actually take action in whichever area of life that you'd want to take it in. That is that voice. And so as that voice starts getting louder and louder, soon enough when people come to you and suppose your friends go and they make fun of you, you don't care. It's just a voice in your head. It's no longer a big voice, it's just a voice. And then suppose some other person comes and they're like, oh yeah, whatever you're trying to achieve, it's impossible. Yeah, just another voice. Because my internal voice is louder than that. Because I meditate and I try to listen to myself. And when you're meditating, you're actually giving your brain rest, because you're literally being like, stop worrying about the competition and the stress and all of the other things. Just focus on the breath. And you know, your brain loves it. And it just focuses on what's left, which is essentially you and your voice. I don't know if I described that good enough, but hopefully I put in a visual that did put things into perspective. It might sound like I'm somebody who meditates like an hour every single day. No, I do not do that. I literally only meditate when I get time, but I do it every single day. It's basically how I go to sleep, because it's how I stop my brain from overthinking, basically shut it off. That is why it's become a habit to meditate every single day, because I used to suffer from oversleeping, and then when I recovered from that, I used to suffer from not being able to sleep at night. So I've basically trained my brain how to sleep, and I've done it through this technique which works very well for me, through meditation. And that's also how I inculcate meditation into my routine. And also, I only described one way of meditating. There are a lot more ways that you can experiment with, and one of my favorites is that there's this quote that says that every second that you do something that you love is a moment you spend in meditation. And I understand that completely, because again, your brain comes into the flow of things and it gets so encapsulated in the task that you are doing that it forgets a lot of things. And I think flow state that we often even get when we're working or we're deeply interested in something, that is also a form of meditation. This video was just to tell you the importance of stillness in your life, and to just really believe in yourself, and don't believe every single thing that your brain tells you. Because at like 21 years old, when I graduated college, my brain told me that I could never like build a strong enough career. And although I'm still in the process of doing that, it's absurd to me that I used to think that at 21 years of age, and now I'm 24 and I'm way more positive in life. So yeah, the reason why I didn't have so many facts or figures, or I didn't quote any gurus or Ayurvedic practices, is because I thought common people like you and me need common people to relate to. As a common person, you would relate to me and my experience more. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know I didn't give that much attention to actually how you should meditate, because that was not the point of the video. The point was that you should just calm your mind, not believe every single thing that your mind tells you. And I hope that the person that I made this video for likes this video. Thank you so much for watching. साडी वीडियो पसंद आई तो लाइक ते कमेंट जरूर करियो, और साडी नवी वीडियो लिए सब्सक्राइब टू SuriNotSorry.